This is my productive 5 a.m. morning routine. This routine, to say the least, has changed my life, and it has given me a complete 180-degree change. A routine in a video that I wish I could have seen in the past and would have allowed me to reach my goals sooner. But why listen to me? Let me give you some context. I am a scientist, and when I was graduating and becoming a scientist, it was so difficult in the beginning to learn how to study effectively, and I always wanted to be very successful. But being able to become a scientist came at the cost of my health. I gained belly fat, love handles, and my grades were good, but they could have been so much better. And once I got into medical school, I had such a high desire of wanting to change my life. I was a broke student looking to be able to create the life that I'm living now. And if you watch this video till the very end, you'll be able to take the scientific evidence that I've been able to accumulate over the last 10 years that has changed my life. Not only physically, it has changed my life mentally, and it's also what has allowed to make my first $1 million. You can watch every single video from the very beginning on this YouTube channel, and you can see that my life has changed dramatically from being a broke student to running a multi-million-dollar company, being able to live the life that I've always dreamed. And the reason I'm making this video today is because I wanted to have the same effect that it's had on me onto you. I am exactly like you, and it's the only reason I'm sharing this story with you. No matter where you are in your life, you may be at rock bottom, you may be struggling, or you may be on the path to success, or you may be successful already. The tips I'm going to share in this video is a culmination from everything I've learned over the last decade, taking inspirations from established doctors from Stanford like Andrew Huberman, to successful businessmen like Alex Hormozi, and even my mentor who I've invested over $100,000 into. It has allowed me to achieve the wealth that I've always desired in my life. So watch this video to the very end, because I can guarantee there'll be one or all of the 5 tips that I'm about to share with you in this video that will be life-changing. And the reason I'm sharing this with you today, because the only thing that I would want more in this world is for the people who've chosen to spend time to watch my videos to achieve the success that I have, and if not, even surpass the success that I have. As I promised, I'm making a video daily. We are now 12 days out. Without further ado, let's dive straight in. The first tip, and your morning routine will always start the previous day. Having a vision or having an idea of what you want to execute will give you a clearer path of the things that you want to do the next day. And if you do that the night before, each and every single day, it will allow you to put one foot in front of the other. This is the saying I've been giving myself throughout this entire competition. That is all that life is about, is putting one foot in front of the other. It may sound simple, but it can be very difficult as we tend to overcomplicate the most simple things in our day-to-day. So writing a list of the tasks and the things that you want to accomplish the night before has a tremendous effect in giving you vision and clarity and a direct road to where you want to be the next day. Now, doing this for one day won't make a difference, but doing this for a month, 2 months, 1 year, and a decade will allow you to have a path of where you currently are to the life that you've desired. And I've seen this myself, but this was advice that I was given from people who are miles and miles ahead of me and who are ultra successful. The ultra successful have a plan. And as the saying goes, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail, and that statement cannot hold more true. The title of this video is Waking Up at 5 a.m. But in all honesty, the time you wake up doesn't matter as long as it's early. It can be at 3 a.m., it can be at 4 a.m., it can be 5 a.m., it can be 8 a.m. As long as it's early enough for it to allow you to complete the most important tasks in your day. And if you think about it simply, when you wake up, at that point, it is going to be the point that you have the most amount of energy. And if you like using a game reference, when you're about to play a fighting game or any game, when you start the game, it's when you'll have the most amount of life. And that is also the most amount of energy that you have. But waking up early has a tremendous effect. Number one, when you do that, it gives you a sense of endorphin. You've now accomplished the most difficult task in your day. And thinking this way has actually allowed me to become so much more successful, because it leaves me with this positive feeling of, hey, you know what, I ticked the hardest box. And that's one thing that I've realized. I have learned about myself. When I can wake up early, I have won. I have beaten everybody and the most important person, which is myself. But an advice that I can give you to be able to wake up early is going to sleep earlier and setting an alarm on your phone. Keeping your phone not in your bedroom. Your bedroom is strictly for sleeping, but having a phone in another room and then being able to set an alarm for yourself to wake up, and over time you'll notice that your body naturally wakes up at that time. But setting an alarm in another room will allow you and force you to wake up, which is usually the hardest part of the morning routine. I will also say, when you decide to start waking up early, well, the first 1 to 3 days will be difficult, but that is all it takes to be able to make a slight pivot in your life that will leave you in a completely new destination that you will be very happy that you did. And I am so happy that I made the decision of waking up early. Now, when you wake up early, the first thing I want you to do that will have this incredible and massive effect on your life is I want you to get as much light exposure in the morning, and I'm going to tell you the scientific reasons why. And this is also a statement that is shared by Dr. Andrew Huberman. And listen to what he has to say.
Really, the quality studies on humans that have looked at this say try and get as much natural light as you can in the morning hours, whenever it is that is for you.
Light exposure has a tremendous amount of physical and mental benefits early in the morning. The first thing of light exposure in the morning does for you is that it will regulate your circadian rhythm. It is what we call the body's internal clock. And having light exposure allows you to reset your internal clock. And with all the clients who have ever joined me who have an issue with sleeping, when you have a reset time on your internal clock, it allows you to be tired enough to go to sleep at the correct bedtime. So being able to get that light exposure will make sure that you're successful for the next day because it will allow you to go to sleep early. It will also take that feeling away of grogginess. Now, if you're in a country that doesn't have light exposure, what I highly recommend is getting a light exposure lamp from Amazon, and having this directly in your face in the morning will reset your time. And this is one of the things that helped me tremendously that I picked up from Dr. Andrew Huberman. Now, you've woken up and you're wondering what's the next best thing to do. This will be very, very difficult for a lot of you to do, but just like Nike, just do it. This will be very difficult, but has a tremendous benefit, and that is cold showers. Now, this is what Dr. Andrew Huberman has to say about cold showers and one of the exact reasons I've done it.
But also when they put themselves into this deliberate cold, and I'll talk about how cold in a moment, that then they achieve much bigger increases in core resting metabolism, improvements in blood lipid and insulin management profiles. And there's some other positive effects like improved mental resilience. So a lot of positive effects.
Cold showers for me has had tremendous benefit. I may even say cold showers may even be better than having a cup of coffee in the morning because of the alertness that you have. Number one, it is great for your mental well-being because it gives you this dopamine hit of, wow, I accomplished something difficult, and you feel good about that. It's the same feeling you get from going on a jog or going on a run or completing a difficult task or receiving amazing news. When you are able to complete a difficult task in the morning, it sets this change and it unlocks your mind with this positive habit loop of this reward system that you like getting from getting a cold shower in the morning. Not only that, a cold shower is going to improve your blood circulation. It's going to decrease the time of feeling sleepy and groggy. It will wake you up immediately. And you're also going to have this boost of energy after taking that cold shower. So before you take your hand and pull the lever to turn on the cold shower, just think of how much better you're going to feel after it. And all good things are on the side of the other door of doing a difficult task or making a difficult decision. And this is exactly the thought process I go to that allows me to go into that cold shower happily and ready to tackle the day. My endorphins and dopamine levels are extremely high, and I'm alert and ready to start tackling the next task of my day. Not each and every single morning will be the same. So don't be discouraged if you're not doing this morning routine each and every single day. A tip that I've taken from James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, is that it is okay to fail, but make sure that you don't fail twice. Make sure that if you maybe don't follow something in your morning routine, that you do it the next day. And you'll find creating this loop will decrease the pressure off of you from establishing a new morning routine, and it will allow you to start developing this consistent habit. Rome was not built in a day. Be patient with yourself. So my morning routine isn't the exact same each and every single morning. In certain occasions, what I will do, when I wake up first in the morning and I've jumped out of the shower, I will take my Chow Chow Blue on the walk in the morning. In some other instances, if time doesn't permit, my morning routine may not consist of taking Blue on a walk in the morning, and I'll find an alternative. So my advice is, don't be so rigid on your morning routine, and this will make sure that you're consistent with your plan. But meditation is one of the most single things that have changed my life. The best way I can describe meditation is that it is a bench press for the mind. Personally, what meditation has been able to do for me, it's been able to remove this anxiety, this level of stress. In the past, before meditation, I was so anxious going through medical school, and when I was a medical doctor, I was so anxious and stressed of going to see patients and them presenting me with their problems and making sure that I help them, but not only that I help them the best way that I can. But with meditation, what that allows me to do is to be able to control the thoughts that enter and leave my brain. It also made me feel like I was Tony Stark, and as you can imagine, when you would take Jarvis and expand it in the room, it allows you to view your thoughts and be able to decide which ones you want to latch on and also organize your thoughts. And with meditation, for all of you who's beginning, and this is one of the first pieces of advice that I give my client, mindfulness and meditation will strengthen everything else in your body. And this is one of the first pieces of advice I give any client who joins my program, and I encourage them is to do meditation. Give it a week, give it 7 days, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you can do to make sure that meditation becomes part of your process. But let me share with you some of the scientific benefits of meditation. It will reduce stress. It's one of the well-known benefits of meditation, and it will reduce your overall levels of cortisol. We know that cortisol, in terms of your physical health, does stop the ability to lose fat. So being able to reduce your cortisol levels is great for you physically. But not only that, if we have control of being able to reduce our cortisol through meditation, it will reduce our anxiety and our feelings of stress. I started practicing meditation in medical school, and my ability to learn new information and retain it was incredible. I was so good at learning new information. All my classmates were shocked that I was able to build a successful YouTube channel and be able to be in the top performers in my class consistently. And that is because I was able to clear out my mind. So I am going to advise you the way that I advise all my clients, the way that I've started meditation. I downloaded this app called Calm. And in this app, there's a 30-day mindfulness to beginners. Yes, there is an initial investment to be able to use that app, but it is so worth it. That investment is going to be the equivalent of what you spend at McDonald's in a day. So make that investment. There's a 30-day mindfulness to meditation by Jeff Warren. That 30 days was life-changing for me. All you need to do is invest 10 minutes of your morning, each and every single morning, and see what effect that has. Just see what that 10 minutes can do for you. That 10 minutes almost makes you feel like you have 48 hours in a 24-hour day because you're learning 2 times more. You're productive. You're twice as productive as you would be without the meditation, and it's one of those superpowers.
Before we move into step number 4, over the last 16 weeks, we've had a 99% success rate at Sculpt by Science, and it's because of a mechanism that I've developed called the DNA sequence. It's a combination of all the scientific research I've done over the last decade, combining everything I've learned from biochemistry and microbiology and everything through medicine, and the experience I've gone through with nearly thousands of each and every single client that I've personally coached. I am now able to transform any physique as long as the person is dedicated, irrespective of their background. The people who come through my doors are busy professionals who are dedicated and finally want to see the six-pack once in their life. Their energy levels are optimized. They're eating the specific foods that they can eat, not only for this program, but what they'll be able to follow the rest of their life. Their sleep is optimized, and also their training and nutrition. And we look into so much more in terms of blood work. We do it all. If you want to know exactly how I'm able to use the DNA sequence and see such a high success rate, what we do is we go through a diagnosis. What you need to do is fill out the short questionnaire, and we'll be able to jump on a call and be able to see how the DNA sequence may be able to help you. We're also selective with who we work with, so please fill out as much information as possible so we can see if we can help you. But I'll see you in the next step.
Caffeine. Number 1, in terms of your physical health and benefit, caffeine does have a lipolytic effect. But what's also important with caffeine is it will improve your mental alertness, and it will also improve your energy overall. Now, at this point in competition prep, Where I am 13 days out, I will be honest with what I'm doing. What I am doing is I am taking a pre-workout that doesn't have beta-alanine so I don't get the jitters, but this gives me a high level of energy. It allows me to be focused. It makes sure that I shorten the time of me waking up and getting to my first task, but it makes me extremely energetic. The one I'm using is Pride because in there's nootropics as well, and it makes me feel energetic, and I don't, which is really important, I don't have a subsequent crash as a result of the caffeine. But caffeine will help a tremendous amount in terms of overall energy through the morning, and it is what I take right before I start going into the next step in terms of my focused work. Before I give my points of why I believe focused work is important, see what Dr. Andrew Huberman has to say about a 90-minute focused work time.
In that 90 minutes, I'll typically try and read a research article start to finish, or I'll work on a document that I might be doing a grant or a research paper or planning a podcast or researching a podcast. I try and get my brain into kind of a linear mode. I try and narrow that aperture. Because if I don't, the distraction that's created by social media and interactions with others can kind of wick out into the rest of the day.
Becoming a scientist, becoming a medical doctor, focused work is by far the most important part of my morning routine, and it's the most important one to you. My advice for anyone starting a morning routine, the most important part is waking up early, and the second most important part is getting to your focused work as soon as possible, because your brain is fresh, it's when you have the best ideas, and it's when you're going to be the most productive. So all the important work that you need to complete, make sure that is done first thing in the morning. So when I was going through medical school, I would study each and every single morning. It improved my speed of going through everything. It improved my ability to retain information, but not only that, when I was able to go and tackle the rest of my day, I was crushing it in my lectures. And now what I do in the morning with my focused work is that I make sure that I take care of Sculpt by Science. And this is the entire company. What I will do in the morning is I will be able to communicate with all my clients and give them all the instructions that they need so that they're successful, because they've invested in me. I make sure that I invest in them. After I've taken care of all of my clients, I will contact each and every single member of my team and make sure that I am delegating all the most important tasks to them so they have absolute clarity on everything that they need to accomplish so that the company can move forward. The way I always view Sculpt by Science is that we have a vision and our mission is this boat that we're rowing with. And I want each and every single team member in my company to row in unison and to row with as much strength as possible. So I utilize all my mental energy to be able to give that information to them so we can execute accordingly. And doing that each and every single morning has allowed me to be able to move forward. Now, this may not apply to everyone, but this helped me tremendously. It's something I learned at a mastermind, is making sure that you're a good operator so you can be able to move your company forward and giving your team members the right instructions they need in the morning. On top of that, I will have morning meetings and client calls with people who want to join my program and speak to them and deliver all the information they need so that they're as successful as possible. 90 minutes have passed and you've accomplished your most important tasks. You've done your homework, you've studied for your exam that you need to study, or you've completed all the tasks that you ticked off the next day. The way I like viewing it is I am free for the rest of the day and a half time, but that's not the reality. This is the time that I decide to start training. So what I've been doing now in competition prep, I try and wake up as early as possible, and I also get training done in the morning with all the clients I've ever worked with. And I've also looked for research. There's no research that supports the idea of training in the morning. But anecdotally, over the last decade, and with everyone that I've ever worked with, we have found that training in the morning to be the most effective in terms of your energy levels, your endorphins, how you feel accomplished, you feel good. And training early in the morning is extremely effective. I am doing that right now because my main focus is my competition. My main focus is my competition, which is 12 days out. So I make sure that I am prioritizing a good amount of my energy to making sure that I train first, because I want to make sure I maintain and retain my muscle tissue and then do cardio after with the rest of my energy. And that's what I recommend to all my clients. I say, hey, if you want to decide when to train in the morning. And it will also make you feel good because you'll know you don't have any other task left for the day. What I also do is I train fasted. The energy that I have is from any caffeine source, be that the black coffee or the pre-workout, and I make sure that I train hard and I'm effective. And I build this out. I build all of this out exactly the same way for my clients. So for myself and for everyone I've ever worked with, they do prefer training in the morning. That being said, I know that this is not a reality for everybody. So bigger picture, get your training done when it's convenient and suitable for your time. But if you do have the ability to do it in the morning, I highly recommend you accomplish it right after you've done your focused work. And this way, I know I've done my most important task. At this moment, because I am 12 days out, I'm even training in my apartment building just to save myself the time and also this mental gymnastics that I need to go through. I'll get my steps this way, I'll do my training, and I'll accomplish it. But training is extremely important, and doing this in the morning is our fifth step of having a productive morning routine. I hope this video is helpful, and this is everything that I'm doing 12 days out. Some things that are very different that I want to add here. I am sometimes reading my books, so it may be Atomic Habits or it may be a business book, and I'll do that in the morning if I need to. But making sure that I accomplish these things every day, and also not being so harsh on myself, has allowed me to be more fluid. And this is something that I want to be able to share with you guys that has been super helpful, that I've learned from James. And I said I almost forgot. I promised you guys that I was going to give you something for staying here till the end. You've watched this video. All I ask in return, before you download what I'm about to share with you, leave the video with a gentle thumbs up. I'm going to give you a training program if you want to train 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, or 6 days. This is my gift to you because I know if you're watching at this point in the video, it means you're very serious and I want you to be successful. It's a thank you to you. All I ask right before you download it, leave the video a gentle thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Have a look at the program, maybe give your opinion about the program you've seen. Or if you have anything to say about this routine, if there are things that you do or don't do, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm also a student of the game. I want to learn. So share anything with me that you want to. Again, this entire video was about habits that we want to perform. And we want these things to be very easy and effortless. And this is how you make your habits easy. When everything you're doing, make it obvious. Make it obvious that putting your phone away makes you have to stand up. Make it obvious if eating healthy, you're seeing healthy foods around you. Make it obvious that you don't keep any trash around you. Make it obvious that you're not keeping any distractions around you. Make sure that everything you're doing is attractive, that you like doing it, that you're enjoying doing it. Make sure that it's easy and that it's satisfying. But I'll leave the video here. There's so much more I want to add, but I have to upload this video today, so I don't want to give more stress to my team that's editing this with KK and Shamil, so I'm going to leave it there. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.